other stuff. I don't actually really know. Leaflet's a mapping library, so here's an example of using Leaflet. So here's Leaflet new, right? And I'm setting the view for the specific location, exactly setting the zoom level, and so on. And this will show you, you'll see what setting these markers does when I go onto the next page. And then the save function is just saving it like before. Now map 3 is in rChart, so it has all the same fields that any other rChart does. So here I'm using save, and then this cat is just to bring it into Slidify. And then you see here in my presentation is my map. You know, you can zoom, and you can zoom, and if you hover over, you see the I'm a pop-up, I'm another pop-up. So you see how you can set the pop-ups at specific longitude and latitude locations. So Leaflet's pretty neat. So if you need to create a map, and there's he has a new kind of documentation for the set of different kind of mapping things you can do, and Leaflet is pretty cool. Rickshaw is another one that he shows. You can go through the code, but you can get things like this. It has a nice, nice little bit of interactive graphics you can get, and then it has a slider, right? So you can slide over time and see how how these kind of continuous bar charts change over time. That's kind of nice. rChart, here's another one. I'm not 100% sure exactly what rChart. This plot seems really quite confusing to me, but it does seem to have a lot of interactivity, and I think the reason it's confusing is because he's just trying to highlight, not because he's trying to create a perfect plot, but that he's trying to sort of highlight, oh, here's how you get the line, the bubble, and the scatter for the different types, right? For the grouping variable, and that's why you get for the grouping variable get the different ones. So you see, it's actually quite easy. It makes kind of an ugly, somewhat sort of useless plot, but it shows the bubbles, the size of the bubble is related to the the size is related to age, and so you can go through that example, but that's why I believe he's doing it. And it's nice because you do see things like this that are very hard to do in R, like the transparent overlays and things like that are quite hard to do. So at any rate, I'm hoping that going through these examples shows you that basically I find to use rCharts is you kind of find an example that's close enough to what you need to do and tinker around with it, and you may have to dig through the Stack Exchange post. So what I would say is rCharts makes creating interactive JavaScript visualizations very easy. But if you want to customize rCharts, then you're going to really need to know the underlying internals of the JavaScript libraries. Ramnath has told us that he's working on kind of a giant collection of master documentation, and I think that will help. That will help you customize. The documentation will help a lot. But even probably after that documentation is completed, you're still going to need to know some JavaScript in order to really make use of this. So if what you want to do is not too big of a deviation from the several rCharts examples, then it's awesome, which is great because rCharts has a lot of examples. And then otherwise it's a little challenging to extend. And rCharts is still under development, and I think it's easily the best package right now, or one of two of the best packages for creating JavaScript visualizations using R. The other probably being Google Viz, which we'll have a lecture on as well. But it's a very nice tool, and it takes, to get it at the level that I'm presenting it at this presentation, it only should take you a little bit of time to learn, maybe a little, getting through a couple of the annoyances. It shouldn't be too bad, but the other thing I would mention is it is quite nice to be able to embed into Slidify documents. However, I would once again really caution if that's your goal, to always have the latest version of Slidify libraries rCharts and RStudio all installed, and that will very much so help you avoid some of the problems. The other thing I would mention is to delete sort of the assets and other kind of temporary libraries that Slidify and in the old graphs that you've saved, and recompile if you're having errors. These things all seem to help me to get the Slidify rCharts combination debugged.